Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Good evening, maybe. I think US, Canada, it's night, as in after midnight. Again, depending where you are in the US and Canada. It's a big place. It is afternoon here on the east coast of Australia, just after 4 p.m. And as usual, I'm just going to talk for a bit so everyone can jump online and join us for this live. As you can see in the title, yes, please give me a like, so the algorithm knows that we are live and everyone else can see it. So that would be much appreciated if you can just give us a like. And let me know where you joining us from. I can see a few familiar faces here who have joined us previously with previous lives. Wayne Martin, Gold Coast, Buhenda, Yasto, Yakub from Nigeria. We've got a few people on Instagram. Wonderful. So yeah, as you could see on the title of today's live, we are talking about skills assessments. Yeah. So I'm just gonna wait for a few more seconds, 20 more seconds for people to join us. It was a very close race, like always. I really feel I could talk about all three topics. As usual, we give you three topics on a Friday and or Saturday. And well, you can pretty much vote starting from Friday, Saturday until, well, usually I start, kind of preparing for it around like an hour or so before. So yeah, but until then you have time to give your votes. And this time we had graduate visa, we had parent visas, and we had skills assessments. And first I thought graduate visa was winning. Then we thought parent visa is going to win. And then eventually skills assessment won. So again, close race. It really, every vote counts. And, but yeah, like I said, it appears that there is a need for information sessions like this. So, and we'll get to all the topics eventually. Yeah. And as I said last time as well, and every time you hear me talk, I will always emphasize this. This is only general information. All right. So I just talk about, for example, today I talk about skills assessment, general nature of it. I'm not able to discuss your individual case. For example, if you're currently going through the skills assessment process, if you have very specific questions, I'm probably not be able to address these. So if you need specific advice tailored to your personal circumstances and situation, then you need to book a consultation, either with myself or my team. Okay? And you will find that really easy on our website. Just go to our website and then there is a tab called Book a Consultation, and then you just follow the steps. It's very, very easy. If you get lost, just send us a message, Facebook, Instagram, email, and then we'll assist you. Right, so yes, we've got Jimmy on board, we've got Anna. Wonderful, and we've got a few people on Instagram as well. All right, let's get started, because again, this time I have notes. I just feel with notes I can make it more succinct, so and that way I'll make sure that I don't forget anything. Especially I'm also watching the chat. If there's any questions or comments, I'm trying to address these, but please feel free to just put in your questions or your comments if you are here live or watching the replay. I'm trying to either address it now here in my live, or if I don't get to address it during the session, then we'll definitely address it afterwards. Okay? So you will see with previous lives, we always make sure that we respond, usually within 24 hours. Okay, let's get started. So, what is a skills assessment? Well, a skills assessment is an assessment of your qualifications and your work experience. The skills assessment is required for skilled visas, such as subclass 189, skilled independent, subclasses 190 and 491, that is the state-sponsored visas. You also need it for subclass 494, that is the skilled employer-sponsored visa. Sometimes you also need it for the 482, especially when it's leading to permanent residency. So in doubt, check in with us and see if you require a skills assessment. Because for certain visas, you won't be able to, get far without a positive skills assessment. Now, can I just ask to the people attending right now, who has done a skills assessment, or who is in the process of applying for a skills assessment, or has already applied and is waiting for an outcome, or has a positive skills assessment? So anything to do, if you have any experience with skills assessment, just give me a comment and say either, applied for or wanting to apply, just so get a bit of a feeling where you're at. And while you're doing that, I'm just going to check in the comments if there's anything already. There's a question if we are in the NT. Yeah, so we have a few offices all around Australia, and one of our offices is in Darwin, Northern Territory. So yes, we are in the Northern Territory, as well as in Queensland, as well as down in Sydney. But it essentially doesn't matter where we are because the process is online. I mean, I'm speaking with you right now through an online platform. So it doesn't matter. We connect with our clients via Skype, via WhatsApp, Zoom, and if people are onshore, obviously telephone as well. Okay, is there any comments in regards to skills assessments? Has anyone had any experience with skills assessment? Okay, here we go. Raphael, I have done a better skill assessment, but it returned negative. Sorry to hear that, Raphael. Can I ask, what is your occupation? So I will address that as well. What happens when when a skills assessment is being refused or turns out negative. So there's pretty much, with skills assessment, there's two outcomes. It's either positive, which means approved, or it is negative, which means it's not approved. However, so for example, if you're onshore, it is not like a visa refusal, as in it doesn't have an impact on your visa status. All right. Okay, so Raphael got back to us and said he's a chemistry technician, Brazilian education. Okay. Well, look, usually when there is a negative skills assessment outcome, the assessment authority, they describe why they found your application to be negative. So usually it's either because you don't have the required qualification, or they find your qualification as not highly relevant. And second, it could be your work experience, that they find your work experience not sufficient or not relevant. So either way, check in the letter of the Skills Assessment Authority. In your case, it's VETASES. And if you want our advice, feel free to book in for a consultation, and then we can provide you with some, suggestions and strategies as to how we think it can be improved, then to lead to a positive skills assessment. Because what I find sometimes is the first step really in this whole visa process, if you go for a skilled visa or an employer-sponsored visa or anything but a family visa, really, is you've got to get your occupation right. And sometimes it's pretty straightforward. For example, if you're a doctor or nurse or an engineer or have a trades occupation, that's pretty straightforward. But what I find, some occupations or some people working jobs where it's not as straightforward, they don't have a proper occupation title. And then what we do in the consultation, we then narrow it down and match it with an occupation on the list, because that's important. It's got to be on the list, all right? to be able to lead somewhere. All right. Now, there is a range of skills assessment authorities. And so I picked the 5 most popular ones, the 5 most relevant ones. So that is CPA for accountants. Do we have any accountants in the house? Just give me a comment or like if you're an accountant or an accountant professional. Then second is VETASES, so like our friend Raphael. So VETASES is for more general professionals. But VETASES is one of the biggest skills assessment authorities, and they have a lot of occupations they're looking after. They're now also looking after trades, some of the trades occupations. So we've got Trades Recognition Australia, TRA. They're looking after the trades. But again, there has been a bit of a shift and a bit of a change where we have Engineers Australia. They're looking after engineers, of course. And we have the Australian Computer Society, ACS, and they're looking after IT professionals. Now, do we have any, what did I say, accountants? Do we have any tradies? Yeah, Anna, what is your trade? Do we have any engineers? And do we have any IT professionals joining us today? Okay, while we're waiting on some comments, I'd like to really have it as interactive as possible. It's more fun, I guess, for all of us. It keeps me engaged as well, you know, if there's questions and comments. And yeah, so if you engage with me, then I engage with you. And like I said, if we don't get to all the questions and comments during this live, we will definitely attend to it later on. Okay, so all the questions, all the comments will be attended. So feel free to put them in. So Bohenda said, how do I book for consultation? More so, I would like to get more information on state sponsor visa. Yeah, sure. So as I explained, you can book a consultation via our website. So you just go to our website and then it's a tab called Book a Consultation, and that's how you book it. All right. And then there's different options, you know, depending if you're onshore or offshore, depending if you want to speak with me or speak with one of our team members. If you want to speak with us during office hours or outside of office hours, we offer appointments on weekends and so on. And yeah, look, what I do, Bohenda, after this session, I will respond to your comment with a link to the booking page. How is that? That's probably the best. Now, Anna got back to us saying plumbing and hairdresser. Perfect. Plumbing and hairdresser, that is both Trades Recognition Australia, TRA. And now the interesting thing is, and that is also one of my points in my notes, there's a difference between what I call normal occupations and licensed occupations. So this one is a great example. Plumbing, like a plumber, is a licensed occupation. So in Australia, plumbers need a license to be able to operate. Hairdressers don't need a license. So the process is different. And for licensed occupations, the process is more complex and also more expensive because there is just more involved. All right. Okay, so look, skills assessments, it's super important because it's usually one of the biggest hurdles for people to overcome, and it's because it's a prerequisite. It is a prerequisite for skilled visas, like the visas of classes I mentioned in the very beginning. You cannot proceed with a skilled visa without having a positive skills assessment. Now, if you find that you keep getting negative results, then, well, first of all, I recommend come to us, speak with us, invest in a consultation. Secondly, and well, usually, you know, when you speak with us, we can definitely give you advice because, like I said, sometimes people use the wrong occupation. Sometimes people think they're eligible, but they're actually not. And they're completely not aware of it. So this is all what we find out during a consultation, okay? Now, hey Laura, good to see you. Laura, she is our winner of the competition. And Laura and I, we had a consultation last week, which went really well. Really, really great results for Laura. She's got 2 different pathways to gain permanent residency. So on that note, I want to mention the competition that we have. So if you leave us a review on these lives, because I've been doing these lives now since the start of the year, so 6 weeks. And for people who watch it, so any one of you now, either watching it live or watching it in the replay, you can give us a review. The review needs to be on Google and Facebook. And the most creative review is going to be picked, and then you can win a free consultation with me for 30 minutes. Okay, so I'll speak with you for 30 minutes. We connect, well, it depends. You can choose, it depends a little bit where you are in the world, but obviously if you're overseas, we usually use Zoom or WhatsApp or Skype. And yeah, so usually my consultations, they are around about $500. So you can save quite a bit of money, and you get to talk with me, and I look into your situation. Now, we did have a couple of entries this week, and what I need to say is, I think, Jimmy, you are online. Jimmy, we sent you a message, but we haven't heard back from you. You gave us a review on Facebook, but unfortunately not on Google. So please check your messages on Facebook, and yeah, get back to us. And then there was another review where we got someone reviewing us on Facebook and on Google, but on Google there was no comment as such. It was just, well, it was a 5-star review, but just the review, there was no wording. And I mean, my tip, if you want to, like, wording is quite important if you want to win for the most creative review. Okay, so that's the whole point behind it. Anyways, so this is my feedback. So again, this week there was no eligible reviews. I want to keep encouraging you to put your reviews in, to be able to participate in the competition. It may take you 2 minutes to do it. Laura, how long did it take for you to write a review? I mean, your review was quite detailed, much appreciated. But yeah, it probably takes a few minutes to write a review. So anyways, let me continue. Actually check the comments. Raphael, can you explain about the country education profile and how it relates to the skills assessment? Yes, I can. So basically, obviously, if you have a qualification from overseas, that is completely fine, okay? So some people think that you have to have a qualification from Australia. That's not really true. However, it needs to be equivalent to what is expected for the occupation. So for example, if the occupation requires you to have a bachelor degree, like a university qualification, and if you only have something like a diploma or a certificate then from your home country or from any other country, then that's not equivalent. And even if you have a bachelor degree from your country where you think, oh, okay, I've done a bachelor in Brazil, for example, should be the same as in Australia, not really. So this is where the country profiles come in. Migration agents like us, we have access to these country profiles, and again, pays off to invest into a consultation, so we can then check, okay, is your qualification actually equivalent to the Australian qualification framework? So I hope this makes sense. Bohenda is... Oh, Laura has got back to us and just said it took her a few minutes to write the consultation, and it didn't take her long at all. And yeah, so Laura was the first winner. And in the first week, because I was overexcited, I forgot to mention that it's only for 30 minutes instead of an hour. So Laura got the full hour. And I think she got a lot of value out of it. So yeah, I only encourage you to put your hat in the ring, how they say in Australia. Bohenda is asking, I'm offshore in Nigeria. I would like to speak with you if possible. Possibly you be my consultant and guardian through this course of getting Australian visa. Absolutely, Bohenda. Yes. So we have plenty of clients in Africa, mainly in South Africa, but also we have some clients from Nigeria and other places in Africa. So like I said, you need to book a consultation. That is the first step, and then we get the ball rolling, okay? And meaning we get started with your process. So each skills assessment authority has their own requirements, okay? So it's really complex, and I cannot go into all the different requirements and all the different assessment authorities and all the different occupations. So really it starts with identifying what is your correct, appropriate occupation. And then the next step is, what is the correct, appropriate skills assessment authority? Okay. Now there's a question about Ielts scores. So that's also one of the most asked questions. Some authorities and some skills assessments, they require you to have an English test and certain English results. For example, social worker. Do we have any social workers online? If so, just type in the comments social worker. That'd be great. So anyway, so some occupations have English skills requirements for the skills assessment already, but most skills assessments do not require an English test. All right. So most authorities, they really look at your qualifications and your work experience. For some skills assessments, you don't even need work experience, and for others, you can substitute a lack of qualification with work experience. So it's all depending, again, on the occupation and on the authority. So everything has their own rules. Rule of thumb, do not apply if you're not eligible, because it leads to a negative outcome, and that means you're wasting your time and you're wasting your money. All right. That brings me to the next one of the next popular questions that I thought of you may have for me is, how much does it actually cost? Yeah, how much does it cost to get a skills assessment done? Now, there is a difference, and it depends on your occupation. For example, as I mentioned earlier, licensed occupations, the process is more complex, meaning it's also more expensive because it's more time consuming. There's a practical assessment part to it. So the licensed occupations, they need to pay a few $1,000s. So we're talking like $3,000-$4,000. It depends. So plumbers, electricians, what else do we have? Air conditioning, mechanics. So everything licensed, that is quite expensive. But then we have other assessment authorities and other occupations where it is only a few $100s. Okay, so ACS, for example, is a bit cheaper. It's under $1,000. Now, another question that I thought you may want to know is, how long does it take? Because especially for the people who are onshore, timing is important, because usually people onshore, they obviously hold a certain visa. Usually it's a student visa or graduate visa, and then preparing to go onto a skilled visa or onto an employer-sponsored visa. And so, there's obviously an expiry date to the visa. So you need to make sure that you start the skills assessment process as soon as possible. As soon as you're eligible to apply for the skills assessment, do it. Because you need to plan the time. Now, there is certain assessment authorities, they offer you a priority processing. Now, like anything in Australia, whenever you get offered an extra service, it usually means you also pay extra money, okay? But in most cases, it's really worth it, okay? So especially if you're short on time, really, honestly, pay the extra money, okay, to get it processed faster, because there's nothing worse than just, being in limbo, being in the uncertainty of not knowing when the skills assessment is being processed. And it can take a few months. So if you're not doing priority processing, which is 10 days, it can take a long time, especially during COVID. All right. Let me just check my notes what I want to say next. Okay, so for example, if it turns out that you're not able to get a skills assessment for whatever reasons, you're not eligible, or, well, that's usually the main reason you're not eligible, okay? What I recommend is, well, either it depends how long it will take you to become eligible. It also depends if you're offshore or onshore, and it depends on a whole lot of different factors, all right? But either you do what it takes to be eligible, to get the qualifications, to get the work experience, to do what it takes to meet the requirements, pretty much, okay? So that's tip number one. If for whatever reason you're not able to do this, or if it would take you too long or something, then you need to look at a different visa subclass, different visa types, okay? If you can't apply for a skilled visa, or a skilled employer-sponsored visa, then I would suggest, well, there's other visa options, such as a student visa, such as a training visa, graduate visa, a 4H2 that does not require a skills assessment. So there's different options, or if you have an Australian partner, you can apply for a partner visa, if that is an option for you. So there's no point of lodging an application if it's for a skills assessment or for a visa if you're not meeting the requirements. Okay, so that is really crucial for everything in regards to immigration. All right. I just finished my diploma of project management, which sub could lead me to PR. I'm from Melbourne. Yeah, and so that is Ahmed Mustafa Riyad. That is a very open question, and so this live is about skills assessments, and very, focused on that topic. It sounds to me that you need an assessment of your visa options, which we will do in a consultation. So I encourage you to book a consultation, either with me or my team. And if you want to get the chance to win a free consultation, then attend and participate in our competition. Right, okay. I think, my friends, I actually covered everything. And I mean, we're now at half an hour into this live. I think whenever I have notes, 30 minutes is my time. And I think 30 minutes for live is good, especially for the people who watch the replay. If you know it's only for half an hour, you can easily do that. So you can listen to me while you, making dinner, making lunch. You can listen to me. For example, when I listen to recordings like this, I usually either go for a walk, or I'm preparing a meal. I usually combine it with something else. Having said that, listening to these recordings, it may also be useful for you to take some notes if you're that inclined. But then again, you can, I'm, as you can see, like to take notes with pen and paper. You may want to take notes on your phone or on your laptop or computer. Just checking the other page. That is like an overview of skills assessments in general. Okay, I could talk for days, especially if I explain every single skills assessment authority. I could talk for days and days and days. So we don't have time for that. So I'm just looking through the comments. Carmel is asking, I have done Bachelor of Business, Human Resources Management. Am I eligible for skills assessment? Similar to what I just said, we can assess that, okay? So we would need to assess, again, your occupation. This is what I mean, So studying a Bachelor of Business, Human Resources Management, is not very straightforward. It's not like a doctor or nurse or an engineer or diesel mechanic or a hairdresser or plumber, what we had earlier. So it's very important that we need to look into exactly what is your occupation, and then the second step is what is your skills assessment authority. There's nothing worse than you deciding on an occupation and you're not actually, that's not your occupation actually. All right. So Camille, I would like to also encourage you to book a consultation so we can help you. Similar to Bride Root Consultancy, I'm in India, completed my bachelor's in 2004. Can I apply for PR? Well, yeah. So many, I don't even know what bachelor, as in what subject. So I need so much more information. And yeah, you need to book a consultation so we can help you. If you can't find your job on ANSCO code, so, well, that's exactly what I mean. We will find, so this is part of the consultation and of the assessment. We will find the occupation that is closest to what you've been doing as to your qualifications and also your work history. So the assessment process in the consultation is very thorough. Do we have any people here who have attended a consultation either with me or one of my team members? I know that we have Laura on the call. Laura obviously had a consultation with me. Do we have anyone else on the call or on the live that has that's had a consultation and can maybe confirm that we are very thorough? Yeah, we're very thorough. That's why we take, in the paid consultations, we take for up to 1 hour. And we will already prepare for the appointment. So we come and meet you online, and we already know pretty much everything about you that we need to know to be able to do an assessment. Okay? Shamal Pereira said, yes, your name sounds familiar. Did you have a consultation with me? But mind you, so how it works here at Northern Immigration Australia, I'm the, director, owner, and principal migration agent. And I do have a team because I can't do everything on my own. I have a beautiful team, very, very smart, very, very experienced and skilled migration agents and lawyers and education agents. So we are a whole team. But everything, all the letters of advice, that goes via me first before it goes sent out. So I'm across and I approve things. And also we have team meetings, so we discuss cases where it's more complicated, of course, and then we brainstorm solutions. Okay, going over to Instagram, Naomi has a question. How anti-government do to determine the 6 months stay in NT after their study completion? So, Naomi, that is a question, nothing to do with... So now, I apologize. I'm not sure if you just heard that. I just had a call coming through on one of my mobiles that is connected to Facebook. So I just declined the call, and I'm hoping that they're not calling again in the next 5 minutes. Shamal said he had one with Susanna. Yeah, Susanna is one of our migration agents. That's excellent. And Shamal, would you say it was very thorough? I know Susanna is very thorough. All of my agents are handpicked by me, and they're all very thorough. And like I said, we discuss things in a group, in a team, and then before anything gets sent out to the client, it goes via me. So I have a look over it. And to Naomi, I want to say your question is not related to skills assessments. So today we're talking about skills assessment, and I want to give people who joined this call to hear and learn about skills assessment to ask their questions and leave their comments. I'm also mindful of the time, so I'm going to allow 2 more minutes for the last round of questions and comments. Like I said, if you watched the replay, or if you're even watching it live, but you can't. Sorry, that was just a message coming through. I need to remember to put mobiles on not disturb when I'm doing these lives. I did it on one phone, but not on the other. So what was I saying? Yes, I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, but also give the opportunity, to give as much information as possible, and to give you the opportunity to, put your comments in. And I'm also aware that there's maybe some of delay in regards to connections and so on. So if you don't get to comment right now, and if I haven't answered your question or addressed your question, then please put it in the comments now and or after, whenever you're ready, basically. And I will be back next Monday. So every Monday, 4 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, I will be live. So you can join me live, and if you can't attend the live, then you can watch the replay in your own time. And if you're new to this live, and if you're new to our page, then check out the videos. There is a playlist. Well, on Facebook, it's a playlist. On YouTube, it's a playlist. On Instagram, I think, what's it called? IGTV. And there's a group, Monday Lives. I think it's called Manuela's Monday Live. And that's where you can see all the lives, okay? So I've addressed different topics. We talked about partner visas. We talked about Dharma visa. We today talked about skills assessments. And yeah, who knows what we're going to talk about next week? You are in charge we give you 3 topics to choose from, and then you can select the topic that you want to hear about. And the topic with the most votes is winning, and that's what I'm talking about. And like I said, if you need specific advice, okay, so there was a few comments and a few questions where it appears they need specific advice about their situation, I will encourage you to book a consultation. I believe it's good value for money, and if you engage our services, then we also credit you the consultation fees towards the total fee. So it's essentially like a free consultation. And if you participate in our competition, leaving a review on Facebook and Google, then it's completely free from the start. You don't have to make an investment at all. Invest your time, and I invest my time, and we see how far we get within half an hour. All right. If you are interested in participating in the competition, or if you're interested in booking a consultation, just send us a message and then we'll help you out. Okay. We're very responsive. We respond to all of our messages. We respond to all of our comments. We love our clients and our followers. I personally really enjoy this engagement here. I'm really enjoying these lives. Monday is one of my favorite days. So yeah, I'm hoping you're enjoying it too. I can see a few regulars, which is really beautiful. Spread the love, spread the word. That's why we're doing this competition. That's why we're having the review system, so that we can help more people and that we can reach more people. Okay, I haven't seen any recent comments, and the 2 minutes are over. It's now 4 minutes actually. It's over 40 minutes in total. And thank you so much for joining me for this live. I hope you find it helpful. And ciao for now. Until next week, Monday. Bye-bye.